Peter Eliades with you. This is Wednesday, March 4th, our daily update for that date. This is a closing price chart. The closing price projections have been fabulous. And I want to show you something that's happening in the differences between the intraday projections, that's the bar chart, high and low, and the projections on a closing basis. The closing basis projections led us to believe yesterday, as we told you, that we would have a rally today. I didn't picture the rally as being 1,200 Dow points almost, but it was within the realm of possibility. We showed you what would happen on any kind of move to the upside, that upside projections would be given, and indeed that's what happened. So you're looking now at an S&P 500 cash index daily chart, closing price chart, this dark blue line of the closing prices. Now, I put the simplified offsets on here. These are not the exact ones. The red line should be 3.5. It's only 3. So you have to move it over halfway between the red and the blue in order to get an accurate picture. And the other line here, the black or blue line, dark blue, whatever it is exactly correct. So the projections that were given from this low to the crossing above the two offset lines are between 30.94.91 and 31.60.89 rounded off. And we moved right into the middle of that projection window today. So based on the closing price projections alone, what we look at next is, did the meeting of this projection give us a further upside projection with a longer cycle? Well, here is the next longer one right here, 7 to 8 day offset. Look at that. No higher projection given. Now, if we hit the upside of that 3.5 to 4 offset, the nominal 10-day projection, tomorrow, that's where I have a little red horizontal line here. That would be right up here somewhere. And you would get a preliminarily higher upside projection, not confirmed till you get above the red line. So the argument can be made just based on closing price projections. I'm going to show you some intraday stuff in a second, but just based on the closing price projections, the argument can be made all upside projections have been satisfied, at least on a minimal basis, and no higher projections have been given, and that could well lead to another decline. Okay, that's the argument on the closing basis. Now, we'll take a look at the 65-minute cash projection charts, and those show a completely different picture. This one's almost met. This is an offset of 5.25 to 6, and as you can see, we came very close to meeting that today. The projection called for a minimum of 31.3213, and we closed at the high for the day was 31.3097. So very, very close, about less than 2 points away from meeting that projection. So that projection's met. Let's go to the next longer one. The next longer one would be this one right here. Now this one is a little further away, a minimum of 31.5235, and that's about 0.7% away from today's close in the S&P 500. So that one says there's a little bit higher to go. The one that's a little disturbing in terms of our theory that we may have seen a closing high is the next projection chart right here, which says that you have seen a projection and confirmed it by going above both lines, a minimum upside projection to 32.2104. That's 2.9% higher than today's close. So the bottom line of what I'm telling you is, based on closing price projections alone, we could have seen another closing high today on the way to the downside. The intraday projections are arguing against that. They're saying we're scheduled to go a lot higher. And notice that in order to invalidate them, you have to go way down here over the next few hours. That's not in the books unless there's something dramatic happening. So I guess the bottom line of what I'm telling you is we have no strong opinion on which way the market's going from here. Sometimes this happens with cycle projection software. Let me show you the daily bar chart on the S&P and why that occurred. See this bar right here? This bar had a low of 28.55.84. That's way, way down there. If you look at the close only chart, it's way up here. This was the close on that day. So you weren't anywhere near that 28.55, and that's where the discrepancy is coming in between the intraday projections and the closing price projections. So I'm going to leave you with that. I wish I could tell you, boy, we know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. All I can tell you is the closing price charts say we could have seen a closing high. Look what the futures are doing. Look at the crawling line at the very top here. The S&P futures down 22 points overnight, so that's pretty interesting. Maybe the closing price charts are going to turn out to be kings here. We'll see. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, bottom right of the screen, click on the red banner. Once you do that, click on the bell. You'll be notified of all the new updates that we do. Thanks a lot for watching.